Guys, what is up? Like I said in my last video, I wanted to give you guys a postpartum vlog. This is just a postpartum chat with a first-time mom. So I wanted to give you guys some products and things I would do differently and things that I learned and all those things. She's about to be 2 months old. I'm actually at my 8-week postpartum point. At 6 weeks, I did have an appointment. I'm all healed, able to drive, able to do all the things that you would think I'm going to insert right here, able to exercise. I'm able to do all those things. So it's all good, but I want to go back to when we got moved in the hospital to our couples care room. Also, just so you guys know, I put down a bunch of bullet points just so I don't go off on a tangent and try to not have a 36-minute long video. So we will try to keep it under that. So let me just get to my bullet points. All right, I wrote, okay, just off the bat, the couples care room is really just a whirlwind. You just gave birth. In my case, I gave birth after actually no sleep. It was just the longest experience of my life. So then you head into couples care and it's just a whole other experience in itself. So I just said that's a whirlwind, and especially you're learning how to go to the bathroom, and you're learning how to be with your baby. It's just a lot, right? So just that's off the bat. Something I said next time with baby number 2, I would try to be better about in the hospital is asking the nurses for the pain medicine more on a timely manner. Some nurses, in my personal experience, some were better than others. They were all really great and nice. I didn't have anyone that I was that was horrible, but just some are better than others. Some are more hands-on than others. And also too, they are going through shifts. They're changing shifts and stuff. So just with them changing shifts, next time I will be better. I will try to be better about just trying to be more consistent with that pain medicine, because it will just make you feel better. And then I said another thing from my time in couple care. At first I was I really don't want to send her to the nursery, because it's just I don't know, you just have a baby. I want her to be next to me and whatever. But it's okay to send them to the nursery. Oh, your bow's falling off. She's sleeping. I ended up one time, just because I just straight up was not sleeping at all. So I did end up taking her or sending her to the nursery. And in that time, I was able to get a 2-hour nap. So it's okay. Some people might say it's not, but I say it's okay to send the baby to the nursery if you need to sleep, right? And then 2 things I said I would do differently about my time in the hospital, which is just kind of funny. Number 1, next time I'm not even gonna bother packing pajamas with pants, because you simply, at least in my opinion, you simply won't be in pants. I just wore the hospital gown for a hot minute, and then I switched into the shirt PJs with the button downs, because it's easy to breastfeed if that's what you choose to do. And also, just even if you don't breastfeed, when you're dealing with healing down there, you're just simply not going to be wearing pants. You're just not. So I won't even pack pajamas next time. And then also, this is kind of funny because I was such a hater of Crocs, such a hater. And I have since purchased a pair of Crocs, because in the hospital, one, with the grippy socks, with your hormones going all over the place, I think it's pretty standard, but at least in my situation, I was so sweaty, the postpartum sweats you'll hear about, and I legit just, my feet were drenched, whatever, but I got the epidural, and I don't know, you're just sore, all the things, right? So just leaning down to take your socks on and off just isn't happening. So I did wear grippy socks at first, and then I was just I need to get these things off of me. And then I was I refused to put them back on. So I just kept slipping on Sean's Crocs, and it was just so much more convenient going to the bathroom that way. So I did buy myself a pair of Crocs, Croc fan all the way. Next time, next time, I don't even know if I would pack grippy socks, like truly. Maybe a pair. The hospital gives you a pair though, so like, not even worth it, in my opinion. So yeah, I wrote that about like my time in the hospital. And then, I mean, you guys saw, if you watched her like birth vlog, like you saw us come home. It actually was so sweet. We came home and there was like this beautiful pink sunset. Loved it. Got home, Ginger got to meet her. It was awesome. Now back to my bullet points. I wrote car rides just in general, especially in the first few weeks, pretty much suck. They're like pretty painful, especially if you hit like a bump or, you know, it's just, car rides suck. So like, honestly, I'm just being honest, just be prepared for that. Just know like, okay, this car ride is not going to be the best thing ever. And like you have to go right away. I think it was like a day or two after, you have to go like to their first pediatrician appointment and everything. So it's like you just had a lot going on down there, and then you're like in the car. It's crazy. Birth is crazy. Anywho, I wrote, luckily I did have my mom here for a little bit, but also I had Sean and stuff. And I just wrote, have your husband or a parent or whoever you have with you, have them help with your medicine schedule. Again, this is different from like in the hospital. I need to be better about the medicine schedule with the nurses. But then when you get home, you are sleep deprived, you're in pain, right? You're all these things, and you're having to track your baby's diapers because you need to make sure that the pee and poo, like you need to make sure they're hydrated, right? So you are tracking your baby's diaper changes, and you're tracking their feeds because you have to feed them every few hours or whatever. So it's like when you are all these things and your body just went through something crazy, and you're tracking, basically keeping a new person alive, it's very, very easy to like not think about your own medicine. But I will say, like, when I didn't take medicine, I was in a lot more pain. And then I was so delirious and tired that I was like, did I take it? I don't even know. But if I did, then I need to wait even longer. So I was just like, especially right off the bat, I was really kind of a mess with my own medicine. And once I had talked about it with Sean, and it was more like I started putting like reminders and stuff of when I needed to take medicine, then it really did help with my pain level and stuff. So that's just a little insight there. I said I used ice packs only at night. So like Frida Mom, there's other brands too, but the ice packs, just in my personal opinion, they're really awkward to sit on. I mean, it's just this like big thing like in between your legs. It almost feels like you like rock back and forth. I just personally didn't love like sitting on them. It just felt uncomfortable and awkward. So I really only personally used the ice packs at night. I would suggest using them, but I just personally liked it just better at night because laying down it wasn't as uncomfortable in there. And then I also wrote, so I was a big fan of all the Frida Mom products, but especially I told all my friends or sister-in-laws or girlfriends, whatever, I told them the disposable shorts, they were amazing because with all the pads and the stuff on it and blah, 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 it's just like, it's just a lot going on. And the Frida Mom disposable shorts, I actually felt like I was secure. All the stuff was secure in place and everything. And then you just throw them out. Those, I had only had like one pack of them just going into postpartum. And then it was just like, all right, Amazon more, because I just loved them. And you know, you're bleeding for weeks. Like, let's just be real here. You're bleeding for weeks. So you're using a lot of them, right? To be sanitary. So I personally would just like highly suggest the disposable shorts to literally everyone. And then I also wrote, I wrote, the hospital ones just didn't feel as secure. They were like this like mesh underwear type of thing. which was fine for the hospital. The hospital, again, is just such a whirlwind, but going home, like, they were not really secure or anything like that, which is fine when you're in a hospital bed, but not really like in your own bed. Which actually, I didn't even write this down, but I'm just remembering. For the first, I think, 2 weeks, I literally slept on a towel just because of like, just for my mental state, just in case anything was weird or gross. But also, like, I was sweating so much at night and everything, and I would literally wake up like drenched. So I literally slept on a towel for like 2 weeks. Anyway, also back to some of the Frida Mom products. I personally loved the foam that it comes with or whatever. The foam just felt, I don't know how to explain it, but it just felt so nice and like soothing in there and everything. I liked the foam personally better than, like, I didn't really feel like the Dermaplast, I think that's what it's called, the Dermaplast spray, I didn't really feel like it did much, to be honest. I thought the foam was a lot nicer of a feel. So I would really highly suggest the foam. And then also, I liked the Frida Mom cooling pad liners better than the Tux ones. Actually, my sister-in-law just sent me a video where it's like the Tux ones make you feel like you're like making like a Subway sandwich, which is true. Like, I don't really know why they're just these like little circles, and then you have to like place several of them, and then like when you're pulling it up, sometimes they fall over. It was just kind of a lot. So the Frida Mom cooling pad liners, they're just one long strip, which was just a lot more convenient. So I would just suggest all the Frida Mom products, truly. And on the boxes, it like tells you what order to do. It's very like easy to do. But again, make it easier for yourself, because your whole bathroom ordeal is going to be like 5-10 minutes long, just like doing all the things, right? So make everything easier for yourself. I wrote, I also used, it's called Rael, I don't know, Rael, I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest. I think they're like organic, clean products. But the pads and the diapers were really nice too. I would compare them to like the disposable shorts or whatever, but that brand was really nice, and I liked that stuff as well. And then the one other thing that I made a bullet point kind of in this section, if you will, have your husband or your partner or whatever help you with showering, because you get all clean, and then when you're bleeding, it's like you can very quickly not be clean or just feel yucky. So like, truly, like, be like, all right, I'm hopping in here for 5, 10, 15, however long you take your shower for. Be prepared at like this time, or like come in maybe a few minutes earlier and let me tell you, like, oh, I still have to do conditioner, I still have to do whatever. Have them come in and just like check in, because when I was done, he was ready with like towel, toilet paper, like just all the things, just so that time of making sure I wasn't going to be yucky right after my shower was just like quick and as easy as possible. So definitely have them help with your shower stuff, in my opinion. I'm gonna say in my opinion so many times, just because it is my opinion, right? Like, so many other people in your life, or even just that you watch on YouTube, are gonna have their own personal experiences and opinions and thoughts and whatever. So this is just my story. Okay, now into a little bit more of like Daisy and our experience with her. Right off the bat, I thought, well, in the hospital, like, she latched right away, fed really great, like right away. The lactation consultant in the hospital was like, that's a great latch, that's great, blah, 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 you're doing great. So in the hospital, I was like, okay, great, like, this is not terrible, this is great. I didn't realize until it was like a little too late, but when I came home, like, my milk hadn't come in yet. And like, again, as a first time mom, second, third, whatever, all you other moms that have like done this before, you'd be like, oh yeah. But from my perspective as a first time mom, you don't really know what it's like like to be engorged until you're engorged. Once you're engorged, you're like, holy crap, like, okay, now my milk's in, right? But right off the bat, I was like, okay, I'm just like feeding her. I didn't realize that like me feeding her, she was, this is kind of gross, so sorry, but like she was really more just like chewing, and it just, it wasn't like cutting it. Like, I don't know if she was getting a little bit, just, but it wasn't enough. And I ended up, luckily I did have, from pumping ahead of time, I did have 2 ounces of colostrum in the freezer that I was able to give her. But again, that obviously wasn't enough, right? And the reason that I knew like there was kind of a problem was, one, she had a ton of poopy diapers, but like no wet diapers. And we're like, are we just like missing it? But no, diapers are, there's like a yellow line and it turns blue when they pee. So for anyone that like doesn't know, which like I didn't really know until someone told me, right? But she just like wasn't having any pee diapers. And then eventually after like a day or whatever, yeah, maybe like the next day, she started getting like a little bit of a chapped lip, and I'm like, what? And luckily my mom was there. And my mom was like, you need to call the pediatrician and like get in earlier, like even if it's like a couple hours earlier than you're supposed to go, or a day earlier than you're supposed to go, because she's like dehydrated, like she's not getting enough. So then Sean ended up having to go to the store and getting like the instant formula. So again, just like next time off the bat, even if my milk comes in earlier next time, I'm still probably just gonna have some formula on hand, because just having it on hand is better than like waiting the half hour for your person to go to the store and get it and come back, right? So that's something I learned. And luckily I listened to my mom, because again, I'm so sleep deprived. So it's like, I'm just like almost delirious. Like, why is she not having wet diapers? Why this, why that? My mom's like, call the pediatrician. So thank you, Mom, for just like being there and telling me to do that, because that was the right call. And we luckily were able to get into the pediatrician a day earlier, and they were like, all right, listen, like she dropped a whole pound, which is really not great. However, this is fixable. We got this, whatever. A lactation consultant came in and saw me, and that's just something, it was one of my bullet points. But I would just highly suggest to literally anybody who plans to breastfeed, just see a lactation consultant, even if it's one time, just because they can help you with expressing it, and they can help you with pumping, and they can help you with the latch. And honestly, if anything, what it helped me with was just feeling more confident with it, right? I ended up going, I saw a lactation consultant, like after from the hospital stay, I saw a lactation consultant, I think it was 3 times. And I personally would suggest that to any first time mom, at least. But after our lactation consultant appointment, that whole week, we ended up doing a combination. It was breast milk. I did give her formula for, I think it was 2 days. And then after that, my goal was to breastfeed, right? So in that week, it was every other feed was breast bottle. And I think the reason for that was like just doing bottle, at least you know how many ounces they're getting. When you're doing breast, you don't know how much they're getting, right? Even though there's so many benefits and blah, 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 whatever, yes. But in that first week, just because the goal was to get her back to her birth weight, was breast bottle every other feed for a week. So I did that, and thankfully we did really well, and my milk came in and all that stuff, and that was really great. And we ended up getting her a little bit above her birth weight, which was awesome. But let me just also, again, TMI, gross, whatever, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to be honest here. But in that time of when she was like chewing, I got really scabbed, and it was incredibly painful. And then on top of that, it's like you still have to feed. And so like when you're scabbed and still have to feed, it was just like, I could see why someone would like give up right then and there, because it was so painful. And in that time, I will say, the little like silver cups or whatever that they're called, they really did help. I don't know why, but they did. The silver cups I would definitely recommend to people. Also, I did use Frida Mom has like almost like a gel like pad mask type of thing. Those were nice, cooling, and they can stay on for a couple hours. And then also the Earth Mama nipple butter I did use, and I liked that. And that is safe for them to latch and whatever. So yeah, that was a time, but those products really did help me. Anyway, so that was that whole thing. And then just an overall thing, again, being totally honest here, week one I've equated to hell. Week one was absolutely horrible when it comes to like the pain standard, or pain, just talking about pain. It had nothing to do with like the baby, right? It's just, you just went through so much, you're healing, you're in pain. And I got like really upset and I cried a lot because it was never having to do with like depression, like about the baby. For me, it was more so like, I just felt like if I wasn't in pain, I could be doing so much better. And that was just like hard for me with all the hormone shifts and everything. It was just like, I just knew that I could do so much better as a mom if I wasn't healing. But that's kind of a flawed mindset. And granted, you can't help it. Like, you're going to feel and think whatever you're going to feel and think during postpartum because you don't know, and everyone is different. But for me personally, I just felt like I wasn't good enough for her because I just like didn't feel good, you know? And so that kind of was hard to deal with. But week one was really tough, especially too because I ended up having such severe shoulder pain. One of the days I literally said to Sean, I was like, this hurts worse than down there. Like, my shoulder was in so much pain. I ended up getting like icy hot pads or strips or whatever. But sometimes like the pain from my shoulder was keeping me up more at night, more than like my other pain, which seems so insane, but it did. Like, it was just really rough. Like, week one was rough. It was. But the good news, every single day got a little better. Every single week got better. Like, it truly, truly did. So while week one was really, really rough, what I've like said to my friends and family, I've just been like, honestly, like, it sucks. And you just have to like get through that, right? Because it truly does get better. And when you are in the thick of it, feeling like this is the worst thing ever, it's gonna get better, okay? So I said week one, yikes. But like I said, it just, each week gets better. And by week three, I think that I was able to like get up more easily. Like, at first I literally couldn't get off the couch without like Sean basically picking me up because it was just so painful. So by like, I think it was like week three, I could actually like do the dishes. And it's so funny how just doing like a simple house chore just makes you feel so accomplished. I was really pumped every time I could like do the laundry. Anyway, but yeah, by I think like week three, it was a lot better. I wrote, we had such a rough time with her sleeping. Every baby's different, and this is just my experience, but she would not sleep actually the entire first month without being held. And most of the time it was really hard. Like, now she is great being held with Sean, but like at first it was kind of just me. Like, she would kind of scream for Sean, and it like, which when you're in so much pain, it's just so crazy when you're in so much pain, but then like the baby like really like just wants you. It's like, it's a lot to process and deal with. It really is. But basically we ended up having to take shifts, which isn't ideal. Like, it just wasn't, but that was the only way that either one of us was getting any sleep. So one person would like basically take the graveyard shift and then switch. And most of the time I think it was me staying up till like 2 or 3 and then waking him up and switching. But truly that was like the only way that either one of us could really get like 3 hours, which broken sleep is hard. It just is. And I will say, I've like joked, but like I kind of mean it. Like I feel like I owe my life to Dreamland Baby Swaddle, that company, because for the whole first month, like we tried every single swaddle known to man, every single one. She would not sleep. Like in the bassinet, she'd scream the whole night, like truly. Um, and then like I'd try to like hold her. It was just like, it was just a lot. Once we bit the bullet, they're kind of pricey is the only thing. Once we bit the bullet and actually tried the Dreamland swaddle, it's like the rest is history. Like she sleeps great at night. It's amazing. Um, and she's slept different places now. Like we've been to Bucks County, we've been to Penn State. She's been in her crib. Like she's been different places now. And she can just sleep. Now, granted, we kind of messed up, and Dreamland Baby, which is like known for being a weighted swaddle company, which I know some people find that controversial. But we were planning on buying a weighted one and accidentally bought the non-weighted one, and she loves the non-weighted one. So that's been great. I personally am not opposed to trying the weighted one, maybe in a different style. They have several different styles and whatever, but I'm not opposed to it. I know some people are not into it, and that's okay too. But even the non-weighted swaddle from Dreamland Baby, it just feels like a nicer material. It's almost more material, that it almost feels weighted even though it's not. And that just like truly, truly has saved us with the sleeping department. And I don't think she's had a bad night since being in that. I really don't. So yeah, Dreamland Baby. Anywho, taking shifts. Oh, I have to shout out Sean, because we didn't discuss this ahead of time. He just took it upon himself, and I think part of it is because like it took like everything in me, especially in that first week, to just get up off the couch. So when changing diapers is so frequent, I had him on paternity leave for only 2 weeks, which was sad. But in those 2 weeks, I think I literally changed one diaper. Like he changed every single diaper. I wrote, "We love a supportive husband," but it's so true. Like I've suggested this to my friends and family who are like about to be first time moms as well. Like if your husband is so hands-on like that, I can't even explain to you just how much that was like so helpful. So yes to a supportive husband for changing every single diaper in 2 weeks while I was healing. Anyway, so I wrote that, and then I did want to like touch on postpartum anxiety, which isn't different from postpartum depression. I do not believe that I had postpartum depression, but I do believe that I had postpartum anxiety. And why I think that is because in the days leading up to Sean going back to work, I sobbed every single day at the thought of him going back to work. And even though I knew my mom was coming back, like he went to work and my mom immediately came back. And then when my mom was leaving, I sobbed again because I just felt like I could not do it by myself. I was totally fine if someone else was there, but it was just this weird anxiety of like feeling like I can't do it by myself. I will say, after the first day of doing it by myself, and I cried and I cried and I cried. Like I feel like I cried for weeks just straight, like, you know. But I will say, like, it really got better, and I got more confident, and we got into a routine, and I figured things out. And I was talking to people, right? Like, talk to your friends, talk to your family, FaceTime the person that makes you feel comfortable and confident, right? As time goes on, you will get confident. Like, I truly believe that. And it really was so true. Like, I went from being like, I simply can't do this by myself, to now it's like, I feel like no one can do it better than me because I'm her mom, right? It's like the confidence level is just so much better now at even after like the first month, but at like 2 months now, like it's just as great. It's great. But postpartum anxiety, I definitely believe that I had, for sure. And then yeah, it's pretty much my bullet points. I don't know if I'm missing anything. I probably am, but I feel like I gave you a lot here. I'll try to link all the products that I was talking about below as well, um, that I really enjoyed. And then the only other thing I wanted to say was a big shout out, thank you to everyone that contributed money or food to our meal train. My sister-in-law Grace set up a meal train for us, and in those first few weeks, like that was seriously so helpful. And if you're a first-time mom that has a family member or friend that is willing to like set one of those up for you, like I would do it, because it was just so helpful. And people are so kind. Like some people donated like money or stuff or groceries or whatever. Some people that I would not even remotely expect to do that, and it just is like really really sweet and shows just the heart that some people have, you know. And I will say it was so helpful with the food, and even just money for food, right? And with first time parents figuring it out, sleep deprived, like all those things. So thank you, thank you, thank you to every single person that helped out with our meal train and just came to visit us, came to help us, all those things. Like people have been great, like seriously. And I know some people don't want that, and everyone has to do what's best for them. But the people that have come and supported us and helped us and all those things, like it has just been so helpful, and we really really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I hope this video was insightful and helpful for some of you first time moms, or even just like fun to listen to kind of our story for vet moms, right? But I'm sure we will do more updates to come. But for now, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.